Take 3. Let's see if I'm going to be successful this time. It's Mercury retrograde. Everything will last more. So guys, it was my intention not to give you guidelines for, hey, you know, this is the general energy. But as I was shuffling and just trying to kind of really meditate on the cards and meditate on signs, well, 3 cards jumped out. So that clearly was to me a sign. I saw the sign. So we have Page of Pentacles, we have 8 of Cups, and we have Queen of Wands. So I'm not going to go in majority of the details other than telling you, well, that's really good news. Look at him. He has a map on the bottom. He kind of has a feeling where he wants to go and what he wants to accomplish. After all, this is a pentacle. And look at the tower where he is heading. He is also flipping a coin up in the air, so he is feeling lucky. Pentacle is basically omen of some maybe new financial future. And I know generally it's new year that we make new resolutions, but this seems to me that November will actually push us in that direction. And in fact, more so with 8 of Cups. Look at her, she's leaving. Does she look like that she's missing something? Nope. Nope. Look at this. All of these cups are nice and solid over here. In fact, one of them is still steaming. She just felt, there's something missing. There's a particular spice. There's something that I really want, and I really want to go in that direction. So this is going to be honoring that kind of thing. And then where we are heading, whoa, ladies, if you're a lady, you will be on freaking fire. You will be setting your affairs, you'll be putting things in order, organizing, doing. It's going to get busy. This is very unusual for the end of the year in Northern Hemisphere, because we go, oh my god, it's 4 o'clock and it's dark outside, or oh my god, it's 9 o'clock in the morning and it's dark outside. It's one of those really hard days to get through, but not this time around. If you're a Cat Tarot listener, you are going to be infused with energy. So Queen of Wands, if you're a guy, would mean that you're going to have a woman organizing you. Hey, just bend over, you might be slapped on your tushy. So no, I'm just kidding. Queen of Wands is a really good sign. It means we'll be willing to move further. So there were 3 cards. It was one after another, after another, jumping out. So what I really liked about that is that actually we do not have swords. Yes, I know I'm Aquarius, I'm a sword element, but we are going to do really okay without thinking too much, because analysis paralysis, maybe it lasted for a few months, but this means, hey, I know I have to do slow and steady. I maybe need to get a few more courses, but I'm getting there. I want to better myself, and then put all of things in motion. So before I start with your sign, let me just give you a really quick announcement, which is usually happening at this time of a year. And yes, this is that time of a year. I'm actually producing 3 times the material. So Mercury retrograde, 3 times the material. Well, what could go wrong? But if you guys are curious about the upcoming year, the fashion of the last 2 years, I'm going to do my annual taroscopes. I might shuffle things around a little bit. Generally, there is general info about the upcoming year in terms of numerology. We are entering a year number 4, but the most important thing, we are entering a completely new decade, right? So if you're curious about basically the upcoming year, if you have multiple plans that you want to implement in 2020, you're just not alone. So these predictions will help you a great deal. Of course, a personalized planning is also available, but this one here is now on pre-order. It is for $19.95 for one sign, and it is for $45 for all 12. So that way you can check your ascendant, you can check your moon sign, and yeah, you can just peek in somebody else's future for 2020. So take advantage of this price. So I'll be working on that during the month of November. Hopefully they'll be fully delivered by early December, and then the price will go up, significantly up. So guys, 2020 is very important year because it marks the beginning of that relationship between Jupiter and Saturn conjunction that initiates a 20-year cycle. Well, you know, if this is something that you really take seriously, if you really want to push forward and have this additional kind of like tricks in your pocket, this is the way to go. So just click on the link, or you can also visit me on social media where I'll be advertising this for the next month to come. So, shall we start? Welcome to November. So sister sign, I would say it's a sister sign. It's not necessarily our element. We are going through Scorpio transition, but nonetheless, we did pull this one, passion one. Did I not always tell you we kind of like have certain specific relationship with Taurus, with Leo, with Scorpio, and another Aquarians? It kind of like it's either you rub me the wrong way or I love you to death, or both sometimes, like, which is kind of like real typical for us. So the 3 cards that we kind of have as a highlight, this could be the one, passion. And I thought to myself, don't tempt the destiny, but I said no, I have to be true to myself and get a 3rd card, and voila, romantic feelings. So I really think, guys, that we are cracking that proverbial shell open. Many Aquarians have decided to just go solo, not to do much, and I really think it's going to be complete shift in the air. It's going to be really kind of like different this time around. So let's see, what else do we have. Well, we have 4 of Wands. There's like something, if you are already kind of like cooking something with someone, if you have, let's say, your main squeeze, then like I really think this is going to be shifting in a completely different gear. Mercury retrograde is Mercury retrograde, right? So let's kind of like get this out. It's kind of like going to stop on November 20th, even though we'll still have a little bit of shadow period after. But this is only for the old souls. We get to suffer twice as much because we are here to kind of like learn something. So hey, did you learn it? It's one test. It's kind of like written first and then oral. Okay, now you can go. Kind of like that works for us. But for most people, it's just going to be this period between the 31st of October and 20th of November, when it can bring a whole bunch of things from the past. It could bring some old passion. It could bring some old memories, right? So the next one is 3 of Pentacles. I really think there's like something about realization of, you know, if I'm with someone, it's going to be greater than each of us individually. It is like something that is alluring. And I really think the concept of relationships is difficult for Aquarians. Not that we don't want it. I think we do want it, but we are really clumsy about that. We kind of have this like high ideals, and other people are like, well, I just want to screw you. Like, what do you mean? Like, love, love, love. So we, like, start to feel a little bit jaded and a little bit of, hey, you know, what I'm looking for, it almost like looks like it's the rainbow. I cannot catch this. I cannot go there, right? But I really think there is like a shift in attitude that we are saying, okay, you know what? I don't want to compromise my values. I really don't want to go on your level, freak, pervert. Oh, sure, I want sex, but that's not all I want. I want it in the moment, but I want whole enchiladas, kind of a thing. You better give it to me, because just like I'm an appetizer, no, not me. And I really think we went through too many appetizers. We had too many allergies. We had too many issues. And it was really, really hard to kind of like pinpoint what we want. It kind of like was lots of options. So let's see what's happening here in the past. I really think also October could have been a month where we're reassessing things from the past. What am I doing? Am I falling down some kind of like drain? And why am I allowing that to myself? It was sort of like snap myself to reality. What I want, I am capable, I am powerful, I really want to go in this direction, right? As I said, right, it's going to be kind of like figuring out that truth and that inspiration, right? Because I really think there's like one thing about us, we are really, really resilient and we are really adaptable. But there was like something that has been kind of like our energy field has been broken, and we really needed to repair that. So part of that was, hey, I need to rest, I need to do what I want, because we kind of like felt too much that we are dancing to somebody else's tune, and it was like really time to kind of like go in completely different direction. And then we have, Nine of Pentacles. That's it. Like, we found comfort. We found who we are, what we like, how we do it. This almost describes me. I don't really drink wine as much as she's enjoying the bounty, but that would be me. Like, I mean, when I'm not reading for you, I am reading, and I'm just trying to kind of like figure out more and more and more. So there is like this level, and I really think this is relating to full moon in Taurus, which is going to take place on November the 12th. So guys, full moons, make sure you take my full moon meditation. If you haven't last month, it's good to use for every full moon. I recorded it during the full moon, so it's extremely powerful. It is about letting things go. Even good things need to be let go in order to make room for new things and better things, or just refreshing. We are kind of like one of those signs that, let's say you furnish the apartment with the best of the freaking things you can find in the world. You're so super happy. You'll be happy for a year or two, and then, like, I need to shift, I need to change, because Uranus is also a co-ruler to Saturn. Even though Saturn says, yeah, we do like longevity, we do like this process on a long term, Uranus is saying, well, kind of like spice it up, do something else. And sometimes it just happens like that you just like buy green paint and you paint everything green, and it's like, oh my gosh, what did I do, kind of a thing, right? But then you're kind of like twisting everything around, and all of a sudden everything makes sense. Be very careful around November 5th, and this is when Mars squares Pluto. That's Tuesday. That can be lots of power struggles, right? And I don't know who the freaking this dude is, or a woman, depending on your gender, right? It's a general reading. Guys, make sure you see your ascendant and you see your moon sign, because this dude is also the one who brings passion. I really think, as we are seeing here, this could be the one, passion, romantic feelings. You have possibly already met that person, and possibly things have been going in a certain direction, and then something stopped. So you tell me why certain things stopped, why certain things didn't go in a direction really where you wanted to go. So what else do we have? Two of Swords. This is really cool. Usually Two of Swords is kind of about decisions. Yeah, she's blindfolded, but she really knows what she wants. By the way, this kind of like upper boards, really, really bad decision with this like texture ceiling. Sorry, I digress. Whoa, we have the star falling into our category. So yes, we are the star. And thank you, emergency, being outside. So maybe this is like what it means. It's kind of like now or never, guys. It kind of like, it is not a time to let go. If you kind of like felt, I am good and I'm comfortable and thank you very much. No, you're not good and you're not comfortable, and get off your butt and do some stuff, kind of a thing. There's like so many more things to do. It kind of like really feels like Aquarians are like too kind of like set and too kind of like leave me alone kind of a thing. That's all going to change, guys. So we have 8 of Wands. Love is in the air. Temperance. So who is it? Is it Sagittarius? Like, I'm seeing that fire, and that could be Sagittarius. It could be action. It could be fun. It could be party. It could be looking at the big picture. It could be being hopeful, kind of like receiving things, feeling popular, feeling pretty. That's going to be so much. And then Two of Pentacles. That's kind of like coming to the end. So let's see. What do I have? 7, 10, 14, 24, 28, 36, 64. So 6 and 4 are making a 10, which is a new beginning. It's a shift. Clearly we are seeing that here as well. But also 6 in itself is signifying soulmatey, kind of like lovey-dovey kind of like feeling, and 4 stability. So something is stabilizing. It almost like feels like, well, you need to have this and this to make that work, and you would get this and you would be so happy. This was like the biggest chunk, and you couldn't get the tiny little thing, almost like you got pizza and it's great, you're hungry, but pizza doesn't have any salt on it. It's like, whoa, kind of like, hey, I really need those 2 ingredients. It kind of like felt almost like awkward, and it kind of like also felt, well, you know what, I and I really like that this cake over here. It's kind of like really cool. On 3 of Swords is generally talking about disappointment in love. So somebody had let you down, somebody who you felt it's really pushing. Well, that karma is going to resurface this month. For those of you single, maybe you still have a bad taste in your mouth about something that has happened and something that you really didn't want it to happen. And yeah, this Mercury retrograde doesn't help. We are entering this October 31st, the very last day of October, and it's going to last all the way until Wednesday, November 20th. For the old souls, it might last a little bit longer because we also feel shadow. Lucky us. Instead of like 3 weeks, it's like 6. And this is because, you know, like, I mean, somebody really wants to kind of like drill in, hammer in all of these experiences, right? So it's going to be full moon in that Taurus, where we will possibly have this look, I just want to ghost everybody leave me alone. I not necessarily I hate you all, but yeah, don't call me, I'll call you. You know, we Aquarians are really infamous for ghosting people, and something like that may happen. But I would just announce to the world, look, you know, it's kind of like time out. I need to be with myself, by myself, with understanding inside that things need to shift, because it's really interesting here that there are 2 3s, there are 2 2s, and things are shifting in one very particular direction. So guys, November 20th is going to be where the big shift will kind of like switch off. And even 2 days before, November 18th, so that will be Monday, it's going to be when Mars enters Scorpio. I told you all about it. Scorpio, sister sign. There's like this passion, there's this romantic feelings. And even though we are just about to exit Scorpio on November 22nd, these 4 days, November 18th to November 22nd, will be extremely powerful. It's going to be possibly some confrontation. It's going to be some kind of like jealousy. It's going to be some kind of discussion. But it's going to be clearing the air, because it looks like this air was pregnant with crap, and it kind of like felt like, oh my gosh, I'm choking on it. You may have been dealing with somebody who has been juggling, where there was an impossible situation, where maybe we have been kind of like having too many things on our plate, and dealing maybe with legal issues, dealing maybe things at work. It was just really hard to be everything to everybody. And I also feel that there was like some kind of like sense of rejection, but I don't really pick up on a true rejection where somebody says, oh, you're ugly, you're disgusting, you're fat, and I hate your guts. No, well, okay, this is extreme, I know. And if somebody like that rejected you, count your blessings, because good riddance kind of a thing, right? But it kind of like felt almost like that your worst fear came true, right? It's like, oh my gosh, I want it so much, and it's there, and like you're almost like, yeah, it's going to happen to me, and then a rug was pulled under your feet. But that's all going to change this month. It's going to be really different. We are also going to approach this new moon in Sagittarius. This is going to be November 26th, also Tuesday. Make sure that you're setting yourself to go forward. And I can see there are like still kind of like lots of what if, and should I not. There's like kind of like some indecisiveness here that I'm seeing. But also, Venus is going to enter Capricorn on November 25th, which is Monday. And Capricorn and Aquarians, we are sharing you're sharing one planet, Saturn. And this is like what gives us direction, because God help us if we only have Uranus. We will be like a spark. Will be definition of chaos. Well, actually not even chaos, like falling apart, because chaos at least has some kind of arrangement in that kind of like nightmare of the things that are happening. So we would not be bouncing off the walls, too much caffeine. So that Saturn, Venus enters Capricorn, and that's going to be some kind of like shift. It's going to start feeling doable. It's going to start kind of like feeling, especially if you're dealing with foreigners, if you're dealing with somebody who is not close by, or alternatively, you'll be really trying, let's say, ethnic food. You will be going to gallery of something that you didn't do it before, or you'll be watching maybe like travel journal on YouTube, on television, something of that sort, and you'll be really into it. You're going to say, how did I manage to be this old and not to watch this kind of like stuff? It's kind of like really amazing. You really have to put things in perspective, guys. I don't care how poor you are, but the fact that you are watching this video means you have access to the internet. When you have access to the internet, you have access to the knowledge. We Aquarians, we are proud to always be able to say, I know. And that is available just with an internet connection, which might not even be something that you need to pay for. So that is that capability and that kind of like ability that is like continuously opening up, that you are saying, well, I just got stuck a little bit and I really need to get out. So that is going to start shifting, as I told you, around the 18th. That is that Mars, but Mars is also clearing the air, and when Aquarians enters Mars, we really feel invincible, and we also very, very much irritate other people because we really show it, and we show it because we didn't feel invincible in a long time, and it's going to be yes, I'm the king of the world, and people will think we went bonkers, right? So November 20th, guys, if you're already dealing with somebody and you have been going through the thick and thin with this person, well, is he or she the one? Is she not? It's going to be really important to put the final touches. Make your freaking mind up. Your crush has suffered long enough, so it is time to commit or get off the pot. Kind of one of the things, because as I said in the beginning, we have this like ultra need for, well, I need this. You have to understand the commitment is very basic in this 3D universe. It is, how do you get along day to day? Can you work together toward a bigger plan? And do you see yourself sitting on a park bench when you're 70 years old with that person? Or you would much rather have a book and just void a conversation? That is going to give you some answers, but I have a feeling that you will really kind of like want to continue, because hey, like there's like this waking up, and also there's going to be somebody who will be telling us I love you, who will be flirting with us. There will be things going on, and as I said, it could be happening out of nowhere. It could be just like a bolt, that something happens in a moment, and that can be happening somewhere around November 26th. It could be a trip. it could be some kind of like adventure, and maybe this whole month is going to feel like adventure, because in this month you'll be so much different. It will be like you cannot recognize yourself. And romantically, we are going to get grounded, because like we have such a high and lofty idea about love. And because we do, everybody takes a piece of us. We almost like feel like that because we belong to the world, let's give this much to you, this much to you, this much to you. In the end, we have left, like, with a skeleton. And that was something we needed to repair, bone by bone, muscle by muscle. Guess what? Instead of like saying to yourself, wow, poor me, and this happened to me, and like you did it to me, how about, hey, let me show you what I'm made of. I am strong and I'm resilient, and I will rise. And when I rise, it's going to be big, it's going to be beautiful. Yeah, it might be a little bit of wobbly. We might be saying certain things, not truly knowing what comes next, but never mind, things will work out. So let me check this, like, fly in the ointment that showed up here. So it's 3 of Swords here, and there is like this 8 of Swords here. So there's like 11. There's like the sense of justice. Maybe you have been dealing with somebody who has been married. Maybe you have been dealing with somebody who was in a relationship. Maybe, it was like a coworker. Some prevention has been happening, but it looks like this is pushing forward. This is moving forward, or you are finally over some, stuff from the past, something that was waiting. Yep, that was weighing in very heavily. It was somebody who caused us pain. It was like somebody who romanced us, and kind of like made us think that impossible is possible, and we were foolish enough to believe them, and we know that only us, we can do it. Yeah, it could have been a third party situation over here. It could have been that somebody was really reckless with their heart. It's very hard for us to start to open up, but when we do, we open up fully. So it almost looks like that we have done that and somebody squished it, and it was no more. I kind of like, like what they say, the story about the hot plate and a cat. She's not going to jump on it again, because first time you get burned, you just like don't do it again. But you have forgotten one thing, and that's, my dear Aquarians, we are not chicken shit, as I said. We are moving forward. So guys, there'll be a shift in attitude. There'll be a shift in how we perceive romance. We'll start seeing a big picture. There's going to be maybe a little bit microaggression, as I said, around November 18th to 22nd, right? It could be a little bit even of paranoia, especially if somebody comes back in your life and it's like, look, what? You think I didn't learn it the first time? You might not let this partner in, because that's why this indecision. There's going to be lots of things going back and forth in your head, because Aquarians tend to be old souls, and that's why we are born in the sign numbered 11, and most advanced sign. Of course, Pisces is very advanced as well, but they're like almost like not on this plane. That's why they can afford to be so lovey-dovey. We are high strung because we still want to save this mankind. And when you realize, well, I cannot save it, it's going to detonate anyway, then you realize, okay, let me have a glass of wine and just enjoy the moment. And that's when we get to Pisces stage. So I have also drawn one more card to seal the reading. Also, guys, make sure that you check your ascendant and you check your moon sign, because that's going to help. You can get private reading via cattarot.ca. If any of this resonated, please subscribe, because these messages will be beneficial for you. And at the end of the reading, there's going to be a link for the full moon meditation. So make sure you bookmark it and come to it. Okay, so dry desert, and I would say dry desert no more. So let me read it for you. Is your life presenting you with opportunities that seem to yield nothing? Well, lovely start. Have your ideas dried up? Does it feel like you are on an endless journey through a dry, hot, lifeless desert? This card reminds you that there are times when you're meant to become resilient as you journey through harsher circumstances. You're being required to conserve your energy until, after consistent effort, you reach the oasis you're searching for. Consider the creatures that live in these conditions. They have adapted to thrive in spite of the outer environment. In a desert, water, essential for life, and guess what? We are water bearer, right? Can be found deep underground. So it's like soul. Go deep within yourself now. Find your truth there. Let spirit sustain you while you locate the real source. Whatever it is you're asking about will not be found in the conditions you are in until you move past the surface of things and choose to do the real work and discover the answers deep within you. This may not seem like the most productive time, but looks are deceiving. This is a most important place to find what's truly right for you. And I really think that almost like feels like sorting things out. Okay, this box goes here, this goes here, and this box I'm donating, and this box I'm detonating. I never want to look back. And this box, okay, humor me. Let's try it again, and let's see where we go. So my dear Aqua, if you want a reading with me, katara.ca, all social media will appear up here. You know that I love you, love you, love you, love you. See you on social media during the month, and make sure you order my or pre-order my annual. They're actually really fantastic, if I might say so, to kind of like brag about myself. Very nice quality. Hey. But they're about an hour and a half at the very least, and they really give you good perspective and also a leg up. So that's up to you if you want it. It's half the price. Love you. All the best.